on to someone who's going to be talking a little bit more about neuroscience. So, give a round of applause to Annika, who's going to be talking
Adolescence is often portrayed as a tumultuous period of time. These are the best years of your life, they told us. Little did we know that it would be a period filled with confusion, chaos, pressure, and endless distractions. What if I told you that this period of time isn't just a storm to weather, rather a unique window of opportunity? My name is Anagadatta Hamsala, and I am a grade 11 IB student at St. Francis Xavier Secondary School, as well as the youngest published researcher on the international frontiers of neuroscience. Last year, I published a book called Relatable. This book speaks volumes about the challenges we universally face as a society. I wrote this book with the intention to serve as a pocket guide for our generation with the incredible, lovely lessons that my parents have taught me. It's especially apt for those who are looking for guidance in their lives, as well as just navigating their youth. Additionally, my journey into the neuroscience world began not in a laboratory, but amidst the everyday chaos which teens experience. You see, during our teenage years, our brains undergo a remarkable transformation, characterized by an increase in neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to reorganize itself and form new neural connections. And during this point at time, our brains are the most adaptable they probably ever will be. However, with this adaptability comes various implications. Now, I know that it's primed for learning and growth. However, it's also highly susceptible to negative influences. The environments that we immerse ourselves into have a direct impact on our brain's growth. So, how do we harness this neuroplasticity to our advantage? How do we train our minds to focus, adapt, and thrive amidst the chaos? In this talk, we will delve into the neuroscience of the teenage mind and how leveraging as well as understanding its capabilities can allow us to unlock our true potential. Because the truth is, our minds are not just passive recipients of experiences. They are active participants in shaping who we become. Neuroscience shows us that adolescence isn't just about figuring out who we are. It's about our brains actively shaping who we become. Because at this point in time, our neuroplasticity is at its peak. The way we live, what we focus on, how we move our bodies, the habits we curate for ourselves, they shape our brain's growth directly. Let me give you an example. For example, exercise and mindfulness. They produce something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is a protein that supports neurogenesis, the production of new neurons. Neuroplasticity works best when it's intentional. It thrives on challenge, novelty, and even failure. Because our brains are trying to form new connections at this point, when we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, we are able to leave a mark and a long-lasting impact on developing these habits. How do we start? That's the big question here. Well, you ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? Because that vision will shape everything. The habits you curate for yourself, the things that you do, and even just the uncomfortable truths of yourself that you embrace will change everything. And so, how do we tune out the distractions, the expectations, the constant chatter of life around us? It all starts with focus, the almost elusive yet mythical skill which we all wish we possessed more of. In a world where notifications, TikTok trends, Instagram reels, and endless online streams of information compete for our attention, focus feels like a superpower. But here's the thing, focus is not just about saying no to distractions. It's about saying yes to the right things. Neuroscience shows us that when we focus on a task, we activate our prefrontal cortex, which is the brain's CEO. And so this is responsible for decision making, planning, and allowing us to stay on track. Just like any other CEO, it requires direction and planning. But here's the thing. What if it's not focus? What if it's motivation? That's where dopamine comes in. The brain's feel-good neurotransmitter. Every time we achieve something, even if it's small, our brain releases dopamine. And so, here's a trick that I want all of you to know, especially my fellow students. I'd like you to know that every time you tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna get into Harvard University tonight, I'm gonna get into my dream university, stop, that's a red flag. Start off with, I'm gonna study chemistry for 30 minutes tonight, because I promise you it's those small changes that will make a big difference. Now, coming back to the how, coming back to focus, how do we stay focused? I want you all to debunk a myth here. Multitasking doesn't work. It's the truth, I know. Every time you think you're acing it by texting a friend, studying for your math test the next day, guess what? You're not. Because your brain would much rather do one thing well than do 3 poorly. That's just how facts state it. And research shows us that when we switch between tasks, we're often losing time and productivity. This brings me to a hack I swear by. I call it habit stacking. Now, every time you're trying to inculcate a new habit, which I'm sure many of you are trying to, you already take an existing habit that you have and pair it up with a new habit. For example, say you brush your teeth every morning for 30 seconds. I hope you do. Please don't tell me if you don't. But you add 30 seconds of visualization to it. Imagine yourself achieving your goals for the day. It's powerful. It's small. It primes your brain to focus and grow. I did that with myself. The one thing that I did is every morning when I walk into my washroom, on my mirror, I have a big board and it says, I am powerful. I can do it. I can make it possible. Because it's all in you. It's all in how you think of it. There's still one more piece to this puzzle. The people you're around. And this is very important for my fellow youth, teenagers, even grown-ups, because we struggle with it. Often, you've probably heard the phrase, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with, or you're the most around. It's not just motivational fluff. Neuroscience backs it up. We have these incredible cells called mirror neurons. What they do is they don't just fire when you perform an action, but when you see other individuals perform that action. You start to replicate it. Say you're in a group where these group of individuals are just gossiping, complaining, spreading negativity. Guess what? Your brain is going to mirror those exact same behaviors. It's powerful, it's crazy, I know, and it's in us, right? But if you're with another group who's optimistic, admiring, loving, caring, willing to respect who you are, and also willing to grow, guess what? Your brain is also going to mirror that. It's insane. There is, again, an implication with that, though. I mean, as teenagers, we enter school, and our families feel like they've been handed to us, our friend groups feel like they've been handed to us. I mean, our whole environment feels like it's been handed to us. What do we do in that case? Well, we become intentional with what we consume. You have to be an inspiration for other people as well. That's how influence works. See, you're not the only person that has mirror neurons. Other people have it too. So, you can start that ripple effect by being that optimistic person with a growth mindset. That itself will reflect onto other people and they will start mirroring those actions. So if you want to be in a specific environment, you have to replicate that environment for other people. It's as simple as that. I know that your teenage years feel like a phase that you're just trying to survive, but hey, I promise you, Everything that you do now is going to follow through as a foundation. And it feels like everything's under construction. I get it. I feel like that too. But the best part is we are the architects. We can create. We can build. Let's build an empire. Show me what you're truly capable of, because the world is waiting for an impact that only you can make. Tap into that untapped potential. Show the world what you're capable of. Thank you.